The vast expanse of the galaxy was dominated by the three great interstellar civilizations, the Zarlonian Empire, the Vryxian Dominion, and the Terran Alliance. For centuries, these mighty empires had vied for control over valuable resource-rich planets and strategic trade routes. However, among the three, the Terran Alliance was widely regarded as the weakest link. Composed of the human colonies scattered across multiple star systems, the Terran Alliance was often dismissed as a minor player, lacking the advanced military technology and expansionist ambitions of its alien counterparts. The Zarlonians and Vryxians viewed humanity as soft, overly pacifistic, and ill-equipped to handle the rigors of interstellar conflict. Their military forces were seen as little more than a nuisance, easily swept aside by the superior firepower and tactical prowess of the alien empires. "Those humans," sneered Zarlonian Grand Admiral Crixon, "will cower and surrender the moment our fleets arrive at their pathetic colonies. They are no match for the might of the Zarlonian Empire." This common perception of human weakness was further reinforced by the Terran Alliance's reluctance to engage in large-scale military buildups or aggressive territorial expansion. Instead, the humans focused their efforts on scientific research, cultural exchange, and diplomatic negotiations, activities that were often viewed as signs of cowardice and naivety by their alien counterparts. The humans are content to hide behind their trade agreements and hollow speeches about peace, scoffed Vryxian Empress Xylara. They lack the steel and determination required to stand up to the realities of galactic power struggles. As the three great civilizations continued to jostle for dominance, the Terran Alliance remained on the periphery, its colonies and outposts scattered across the vast expanse of the known universe. Little did the Zarlonians and Vryxians realize that the time was soon approaching when humanity's alleged weakness in war would be shattered, forever altering the balance of power in the galaxy. The fragile peace that had settled over the galaxy was shattered when a long simmering border dispute between the Zarlonian Empire and the Vryxian Dominion erupted into open warfare. Both sides mobilized their massive fleets, intent on seizing control of a strategically vital star system that lay at the heart of the contested region. As the two alien empires hurtled towards a cataclysmic confrontation, the human colonies and outposts in the surrounding systems found themselves caught in the crossfire. Panic gripped the Terran Alliance as its leaders desperately sought to negotiate a ceasefire and avoid being dragged into the escalating conflict. "We must remain neutral in this matter," pleaded Terran Alliance President Eliza Sinclair during an emergency session of the Galactic Council. "Our colonies and citizens have no desire to be embroiled in the power struggles of the Zarlonians and Vryxians." However, her pleas fell on deaf ears. The Zarlonians and Vryxians, consumed by their mutual hatred and lust for conquest, dismissed the Terran Alliance's calls for peace as the feeble cries of a weak and cowardly civilization. "The humans will submit to our demands, or it will be crushed beneath the might of our fleets," roared Zarlonian Grand Admiral Crixon, his voice echoing through the holo-communicators. With no other choice, the Terran Alliance braced itself for the impending onslaught, hurriedly mobilizing its meager military resources to defend its far-flung colonies. Across the human-settled worlds, a sense of dread and resignation began to take hold, as the inhabitants resigned themselves to the belief that their civilization would soon be annihilated by the warring alien empires. "We are doomed," whispered a young Terran Alliance officer, his eyes filled with fear as he watched the massive Zarlonian and Vryxian armadas converge on the border systems. "The humans have no chance against the sheer power of those forces." Little did he know that the tide of the conflict was about to turn in an unexpected and dramatic fashion, forever shattering the long-held perceptions of human weakness in the face of war. As the Zarlonian and Vryxian fleets closed in on the human-occupied systems, a small group of Terran Alliance military leaders and scientific researchers found themselves huddled in a top-secret meeting on the colony world of New Horizon. "We cannot simply sit back and watch our people be slaughtered," said General Mikhail Volkov, his brow furrowed with determination. "The time has come for us to unveil the true capabilities of humanity." Beside him, Dr. Amelia Sinclair, The brilliant chief of the Terran Alliance's Advanced Weapons Research Division nodded grimly. Our people have been underestimated for far too long. The Zarlonians and Vrixians have no idea what we're truly capable of. For years, Volkov, Sinclair, and their team of dedicated scientists and military strategists had been quietly working on a series of cutting-edge technologies and tactical innovations, all in preparation for a day such as this. They had long suspected that the perception of human weakness was nothing more than a convenient facade, hiding the true might that lay dormant within their civilization. As the Zarlonian and Vrixian forces continued their advance, the Terran Alliance leadership took a bold gamble. They implemented a series of rapid military mobilization protocols, dispatching fleets of heavily armed and technologically advanced vessels to intercept the alien invaders. To the shock and bewilderment of the Zarlonian and Vrixian commanders, the human forces displayed a level of combat prowess and firepower that far exceeded their expectations. Sleek, agile Terran Alliance warships darted through the enemy formations, unleashing devastating barrages of energy weapons and precision-guided missiles. "How is this possible?" cried Zarlonian Grand Admiral Crixon, his face contorted with a mix of anger and disbelief as he watched his flagship being torn apart by the human onslaught. The humans were supposed to be weak. They should have been easy prey. Across the various battlefronts, similar scenes unfolded as the Terran Alliance forces fought with a ferocity and tactical acumen that shattered the long-held assumptions about human military capabilities. The Zarlonians and Vrixians, accustomed to easily overwhelming their opponents, found themselves on the defensive, struggling to comprehend the newfound strength of their human adversaries. As word of the Terran Alliance's victories spread through the galaxy, a sense of awe and trepidation began to take hold among the alien civilizations. The once dismissive perceptions of human weakness had been irrevocably shattered, and the balance of power in the galaxy began to shift in an unexpected direction. As the Terran Alliance's unexpected victories against the Zarlonian and Vrixian forces continued to reverberate throughout the galaxy, the human leadership moved swiftly to capitalize on this newfound momentum. Fueled by a renewed sense of purpose and determination, they launched a massive military expansion and technological development program, intent on transforming the Terran Alliance into a true galactic powerhouse. "Our people have been underestimated for far too long," declared Terran Alliance President Eliza Sinclair in a rousing address to the citizens. "But no more. We will show the Zarlonians and Vrixians the true might of humanity, and we will emerge victorious from this conflict." Across the Terran Alliance's colonies and research facilities, scientists, engineers, and military strategists worked tirelessly to develop cutting-edge weapons, advanced starship designs, and innovative tactical doctrines. Funding for these projects poured in from every corner of human-settled space as the populace rallied behind the cause of defending their civilization. "The humans are mobilizing at a scale we've never seen before," murmured Vrixian Empress Xylara, a hint of unease creeping into her voice as she reviewed the latest intelligence reports. "Their technological advancements are progressing at an alarming rate." Indeed, the Terran Alliance's rapid military buildup soon began to bear fruit. Sleek, agile warships equipped with powerful energy weapons and state-of-the-art defensive systems rolled off the assembly lines, ready to join the fight. Alongside these formidable vessels, teams of highly trained and disciplined human soldiers, armed with advanced combat gear and strategic prowess, took to the battlefield, systematically dismantling the Zarlonian and Vrixian forces. "How can this be happening?" Zarlonian Grand Admiral Crixon fumed, his fists clenched in frustration as he watched his fleets being decimated by the human onslaught. "We were promised an easy victory. Where did the humans find the resources and the will to fight us like this?" As the tide of the war turned decisively in favor of the Terran Alliance, the alien empires found themselves on the defensive, struggling to adapt to the unexpected ferocity and technological superiority of their human adversaries. The once dismissive perceptions of human weakness had been shattered, replaced by a growing sense of respect and fear for the emerging galactic power that was humanity. As the Terran Alliance's military might continued to grow, the once dominant Zarlonian Empire and Vryxian Dominion found themselves on the brink of collapse. The series of decisive victories achieved by the human forces had not only shattered the long-held perceptions of their weakness, but had also fundamentally shifted the balance of power in the galaxy. On the front lines, Terran Alliance warships, piloted by skilled and determined crews, ruthlessly outmaneuvered and outgunned their alien counterparts. Precision-guided missiles and devastating energy beam weapons tore through the hulls of Zarlonian and Vryxian capital ships, leaving a trail of burning wreckage in their wake. How can this be happening? Zarlonian Grand Admiral Crixon cried in anguish, watching helplessly as his flagship was reduced to a lifeless husk by a barrage of human missiles. We were supposed to be the superior force. The Vryxian Dominion fared no better, as their once-vaunted military strategies proved ineffective against the Terran Alliance's innovative battlefield tactics. Vryxian Empress Xylara, her face twisted with a mixture of fury and disbelief, ordered her remaining forces to retreat, acknowledging the painful reality that her empire had been outmatched by its human adversaries. "This cannot be," she hissed, her clawed hands trembling with rage. The humans were supposed to be weak and easily conquered. How have they turned the tables on us so decisively? The news of the Terran Alliance's victory spread like wildfire through the galaxy, shattering the long-held assumptions about human capabilities. Across the various alien civilizations, a sense of shock and unease began to take hold, as the realization dawned that the once underestimated human race had emerged as a formidable and technologically advanced galactic power. In the halls of the Galactic Council, heated debates and tense negotiations erupted as the Zarlonians and Vryxians sought to rally support against the Terran Alliance. They argued that humanity's newfound strength posed a grave threat to the established order of the galaxy, and that drastic measures were needed to curb the human civilization's growing influence. However, their pleas fell on increasingly deaf ears, as more and more alien races began to see the Terran Alliance as a counterbalance to the unchecked ambitions of the Zarlonian and Vryxian empires. The tides of the galactic power struggle had turned, and the once dominant alien civilizations found themselves facing an uncertain future as the human civilization continued to assert its presence on the interstellar stage. Faced with the devastating losses inflicted by the Terran Alliance's forces, the Zarlonian Empire and Vryxian Dominion knew that they could no longer afford to confront the humans directly. Realizing that a frontal assault would only lead to further humiliation, the two alien superpowers hatched a daring plan. A coordinated counterattack aimed at overwhelming the human colonies and outposts scattered across the galaxy. Zarlonian Grand Admiral Crixon and Vryxian Empress Xylara put aside their long-standing animosity and forged a tenuous alliance, pooling the resources and firepower of their once-rival empires. Massive fleets were assembled, equipped with the most advanced weaponry and defensive systems the aliens could muster. "We underestimated the humans once," Crixon growled, his eyes narrowed with determination. "But we will not make that mistake again. This time, we will crush them beneath the weight of our combined might." As the colossal alien armada surged towards the human-occupied systems, the Terran Alliance found itself facing an overwhelming force that threatened to undo all the hard-won gains of the past battles. Caught off guard by the sudden and ferocious counterattack, the human defenders scrambled to mount a cohesive response, knowing that the very survival of their civilization hung in the balance. "They're coming at us with everything they've got," General Mikhail Volkov grimly reported to President Eliza Sinclair. "Our forces are stretched thin, and we're running low on critical supplies. If we can't hold them off, the Zarlonians and Vryxians will tear our colonies apart." Sinclair's brow furrowed with concern, but her resolve remained unwavering. "We've come too far to surrender now. Inform our commanders to mobilize every available asset. We will not allow the Zarlonians and Vryxians to crush the spirit of humanity." As the epic clash unfolded across multiple fronts, the human defenders fought with a ferocity born of desperation, determined to protect their hard-won territories and the future of their civilization. The skies above the Terran Alliance's colonies erupted in a dazzling display of laser fire and missile barrages as the two sides engaged in a titanic struggle for supremacy. In the face of the overwhelming alien onslaught, the Terran Alliance forces found themselves pushed to the brink, their seemingly unstoppable momentum ground to a halt. The fate of humanity hung in the balance as the galaxy held its collective breath, waiting to see which side would emerge victorious from the cataclysmic confrontation. As the Terran Alliance's forces fought desperately to hold back the combined onslaught of the Zarlonian and Phyrexian fleets, a startling revelation began to emerge. The long-held perceptions of human weakness in war were not entirely accurate. In fact, the very reasons behind these misconceptions were rooted in a complex web of deception and hidden agendas that stretched back generations. Deep within the inner sanctums of the Zarlonian and Phyrexian governments, a cabal of powerful individuals had long conspired to keep humanity in a subordinate position, fearful of the potential threat the human civilization posed to their dominance over the galaxy. "The humans have always been more capable than we've allowed them to be," whispered a high-ranking Phyrexian official, his voice tinged with a mixture of shame and trepidation. "We've deliberately suppressed their technological and military advancements, ensuring they would remain dependent on our good graces. Through covert operations, strategic manipulations, and a careful management of information, the alien conspirators had skillfully cultivated the perception of human weakness, convincing the masses that the Terran Alliance was a mere nuisance, unworthy of serious consideration. This was all part of a grand design," Zarlonian Grand Admiral Crixon admitted, his eyes narrowed with a rare hint of respect. "We feared the day when the humans would finally realize their true potential and rise up to challenge our supremacy." As these revelations came to light, a profound sense of betrayal and outrage swept through the human colonies. The Terran Alliance's leaders, once cautious and diplomatic, now burned with a righteous fury, determined to expose the web of deceit that had kept their people subjugated for so long. "We will no longer be the pawns in their twisted games," President Eliza Sinclair declared, her voice ringing with unwavering conviction. "The time has come to tear down the facades and show the galaxy the true strength of humanity." Armed with this newfound knowledge, the Terran Alliance's forces redoubled their efforts, drawing upon a well of determination and righteous anger that fueled their resolve to overcome the alien onslaught. The battle lines hardened, and the once embattled human defenders now fought with a renewed sense of purpose, driven by the desire to shatter the illusions that had long defined their place in the galactic order. As the conflict raged on, the Zarlonians and Phyrexians found themselves on the defensive, their carefully constructed narratives crumbling in the face of the Terran Alliance's unwavering determination. The balance of power in the galaxy was shifting, and the long-dominant alien empires now faced an uncertain future, their once unassailable positions threatened by the emergence of a formidable new player, humanity. The epic clash between the Terran Alliance and the combined forces of the Zarlonian Empire and Phyrexian Dominion reached a fever pitch as both sides poured every available resource into the titanic struggle. The very fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, with neither side willing to concede an inch of ground. On the front lines, the human defenders fought with a ferocity that defied their once perceived weakness, their advanced weaponry and strategic prowess overwhelming the alien invaders. Sleek Terran Alliance warships darted through the enemy formations, raining down devastating energy beam attacks and precision-guided missiles that tore apart the Zarlonian and Phyrexian capital ships. "How can this be happening?" Zarlonian Grand Admiral Crixon cried out in anguish, watching helplessly as his flagship disintegrated under the human onslaught. "We were supposed to be the masters of the galaxy." Beside him, Phyrexian Empress Silara's features were twisted with a mixture of shock and desperation. "The humans, they fight with a ferocity we've never seen before. Their technology and tactics are beyond anything we could have anticipated." As the battle raged on, The Terran Alliance forces unleashed a series of devastating strategic maneuvers that shattered the carefully coordinated plans of their alien adversaries. Coordinated bombardments, crippling cyberattacks, and daring infantry assaults laid waste to the Zarlonian and Phyrexian strongholds, eroding their numerical advantage and exposing their vulnerabilities. Push forward, General Mikhail Volkov roared, his voice carrying over the deafening din of the battle. Show these alien tyrants the true might of humanity. Inspired by their leader's rallying cry, the human forces surged ahead, their resolve hardened by the knowledge that they were fighting not just for their own survival, but for the future of their entire civilization. The skies above the contested worlds erupted in a dazzling display of firepower, as the two sides engaged in a titanic struggle for supremacy. In the end, it was the Terran Alliance that emerged victorious, their technological prowess and strategic brilliance overwhelming the once dominant alien empires. The Zarlonian and Phyrexian fleets, battered and demoralized, were forced to retreat, their dreams of galactic conquest shattered by the unexpected rise of humanity. As the smoke cleared and the last shots were fired, a stunned silence fell over the battlefield. The Terran Alliance's triumph had forever altered the balance of power in the galaxy, shattering the long-held perceptions of human weakness and establishing the human civilization as a formidable force to be reckoned with. In the aftermath of the cataclysmic conflict that had forever reshaped the galactic landscape, the Terran Alliance found itself standing at the precipice of a new era. The once dominant Zarlonian Empire and Phyrexian dominion, their military might and political influence shattered by the human onslaught, were now forced to redefine their roles in the ever-changing interstellar order. The galaxy will never be the same again, President Eliza Sinclair murmured, her gaze fixed on the endless expanse of stars beyond the viewport of the Terran Alliance's flagship. Our victory has not only secured the future of humanity, but it has also fundamentally altered the balance of power. Indeed, the shockwaves of the Terran Alliance's triumph were felt throughout the galaxy, as the once dismissive alien civilizations now regarded the human race with a newfound sense of respect and trepidation. Gone were the days when the Zarlonians and Phyrexians could casually disregard the capabilities of their human counterparts. We have learned a hard lesson, Zarlonian Grand Admiral Crixon admitted, his once proud demeanor now tinged with a hint of humility. The humans are no longer the weak, inconsequential race we had believed them to be. Their determination and technological prowess have proven to be formidable beyond our wildest expectations. The Phyrexian Dominion, similarly humbled by their defeat, sought to rebuild their shattered alliances and forge new bonds with the Terran Alliance. Empress Phylara, her once arrogant facade crumbling, extended an olive branch, acknowledging the need for cooperation and mutual understanding in the post-war galaxy. "We cannot afford to remain adversaries," she said, her voice carrying a note of sincerity that was uncharacteristic of her species. "The time has come for us to work together, to forge a new era of peace and prosperity for all." As the Zarlonians and Phyrexians struggled to come to terms with their newfound position in the galactic power structure, the Terran Alliance found itself at the forefront of a burgeoning era of human expansion and influence. Emboldened by their victory, the human colonies and outposts began to reach out to their alien neighbors, forging diplomatic and economic ties that would reshape the very fabric of interstellar civilization. "We have proven our worth, not just as warriors, but as visionaries and innovators," General Mikhail Volkov declared, his voice brimming with pride. "The galaxy will soon come to see humanity as an equal among the great civilizations, a force to be reckoned with in the pursuit of progress and prosperity." And as the human flag was raised above the once contested star systems, the Terran Alliance looked towards the future with a renewed sense of purpose and determination, ready to take its rightful place among the celestial powers that would shape the destiny of the galaxy for generations to come.